what they're worth. The rainstorm and the river are my brothers. The heron and the otter are my friends. And we are all connected to each other in a circle, in a hoop that never ends. How high does the sycamore grow? If you cut it down, then you'll never know. And you'll never hear the wolf cry to the blue corn moon. For whether we are white or copper-skinned, need to sing with all the voices of the mountains, need to paint with all the colors of the wind. You can own the earth and still all you'll own is earth until you can paint with all the colors of the wind.
Oh, lovely, Noah. Awesome. Well, welcome everyone. This is the day we have been given. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. My name is Sherry Nidasitko. I am one of the members of the parish committee, sort of at large, but I've been around for a little while, so I kind of help with just about everything. I'd like to welcome everyone here today, particularly folks that may be new. We invite you to fill out a form, which is on a link that'll be available in the chat here just briefly. So that if you would like to get more information about our church or be in contact with us, we can reach out to you and provide you that information. We'd like to give special thanks today to our technical folks that are helping with the service today. So Michael Feeney and Carrie Borowski. They are really being very helpful to make this happen. And of course, we're always looking for future volunteers who might be able to take on this role. So if you have skills in this area, please feel free to reach out at any time. Today is our music director, Beth's birthday. So she's taking a well-deserved day off today to celebrate. So we are very grateful today to have Beverly Riley and Noah Kerman, who just gave us that beautiful song, for offering their music today, and also to the UUA musicians for creating the hymn videos that we're going to use today. So now I'd like to call your attention to the calendar on the back of the order of service that you would have also have received by email to let you know about the things that are coming up in the next week. So later today, we have our Love Shows Up for Justice at 1 o'clock. And also our youth group is meeting today at 6 p.m. On Tuesday, we have our story time with the picture book World Religions. And also Parish Committee is meeting in the evening as well. On Thursday, we have tea with the minister. And just to highlight here that if there's interest in meeting in other ways with both Pam or anyone else, to please reach out to either the parish committee co-chairs or any of the parish committee members or Pam directly. We are always looking for ways to make sure that you have the ability to connect. A few other things to point out coming up sort of in the week that comes after, which will be Thanksgiving week. We will be having a Thanksgiving Day walk. So if you're interested in doing this, this is available to you. Is also in our emailer that went out that will be at 10 a.m. on Thursday, the 26th. And also, in case you're getting ready for the holidays and you're interested in this, we are looking for folks to help decorate the sanctuary for Advent services starting next week. So if you are interested in helping with this, to please reach out to Pam and she can get in touch with you on this. And then finally, we also will be having the Snowflake Fair this year. It will be an outdoor event, so it will be a little different than in the past. As always, we're looking for volunteers for this. You can reach out to Kim Dickinson if you're looking to be able to contribute to this, either in terms of volunteering your time or any of the craftable items or help with Christmas trees or wreaths. And she's the best way to get a hold of her is via email. And that was also in the email that went out this week for the What's Happening. And with that, I'd like to end our announcements. It's hard to look at the screen and read at the same time. Okay, so next step, we'll be preparing for our covenant. So I can't tell if everybody's been off mute. Great. So at the heart of our life together is the promise of how we will be together. Our covenant expresses this promise, and we say it every week to recommit ourselves to live together in love. So let's say it together. Our covenant. Love
is the
The spirit of this church
and
and
service
service is love.
This
This
is
is
our
our
great
great
covenant
covenant
to
to dwell together in peace, to cherish the living earth,
to
to seek truth and love, and to help
one
one
another.
another.
Next up is our chalice lighting. So our chalice lighting words come to us from the UU minister, Vanessa Southern. We light our chalice, symbol of our faith, for truth sought through a questioning heart and an attentive mind, and for love pursued through obstacles inside and outside our own human heart, and for forgiveness and all it entails, the place where truth and love meet and merge.
I invite you, wherever you are, if you have a candle near you, to light it and to hold it up so that others can see its light. Sherry just read for us those words from Vanessa Southern, the place where truth and love meet and merge. And in those words, I hear echoes from a verse from Psalm 85. Mercy and truth are met together. Righteousness and peace have kissed each other. These are the intersections we seek to create here each week, modeling among us what we hope for our world, a place where each of us is welcomed, where truth is sought after, shared together, and then combined with love and kindness to be acted upon. We often sing our welcome to everyone to come into this community in words from the ancient Sufi poet Rumi, words which were reworked by the modern UU poet Lynn Unger. Our hymn, though, leaves out the fullness of Lynn Unger's version of Rumi's words. It omits the final line, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times. I invite you to hold that line in your head and in your heart, offering its forgiveness to yourself as much as to others as we sing this poem of welcome.
Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshipper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again,
And now wanderers, worshipers, even lovers of leaving, stay for a bit, be present, and let us open our hearts to that mystery, that love which holds us all. I invite you to take a breath and to root yourself in this place. Wherever you are, know that we are joined together. Let us come together in prayer. We give thanks for the peace of this time, the peace we find when we are together, remembering amidst all the craziness of our world, the deluge of the news, the uncertainty of what is happening, that we are grounded in the love which holds us, the love which we feel from one another, whether friends or yet to be known in this place. We are knit together as one body in that love, that care, that great compassion which fills us and flows out from us. We extend that compassion first to ourselves, offering ourselves the forgiveness we need for the ways we have fallen short this week, for the words and deeds left undone, and the words and deeds we wish we could call back. We forgive ourselves, open ourselves again to let love flow through us, and know that though we will make mistakes, we can always turn and start again. We offer that forgiveness which is needed for welcome to all who have wronged us, those we know, those we get angry at in the news, those who seem in control of our destinies and are not paying attention to them. Go if they are deep and wrong, but we let go of the anger which only cramps our hearts and cramps us from acting in the ways which are life-giving for us and for all. We forgive others. And freed to that forgiveness, we offer our love to the world, to all who need it, to our family and to our friends, to those who have been diagnosed with COVID-19 and other illnesses. We must not forget all that people are dealing with at this time. To those who have died of it and those who are grieving them and those who are grieving so many others, so many losses of this time, our compassion extends to them. We hold in our compassion all our veterans whom we remembered this past week, grateful for their service to us, remembering ones who were welcomed home with parades, and those who returned to a nation conflicted over the wars they had fought in. We mourn all the ways their service has not led to the freedom they and we hoped for. We mourn today as well those members of the military who were serving as peacekeepers and were killed in Egypt this week. We remember their families who are mourning them, and we give thanks for the love and care they offered to the peace of this world. We remember all the ways light and love come into our world, the many stories which offer images of it, and especially today, we celebrate with our Hindu siblings who are celebrating the festival of Diwali, a time to remember the victory of light over darkness, good over evil, and knowledge over ignorance. We pray for light and good and knowledge to hold sway over this world. We pray for our leaders that they may act with wisdom and with courage. We pray for all people that we may act in truth and in the knowledge that we do not act for ourselves, but for each and every one of us, for all of us, are one family in love. In silence now, let us take time for our own prayer and our own meditation. May the peace of this time hold our hearts and our minds in the days to come. This is the time when we share our joys and our sorrows with one another. I'm going to place a stone for each, for joy and for sorrow, in the bowl. And I invite you, if you would like, to share your joys and your sorrows in the chat as we listen to Beverly Riley play our music for contemplation. There's an ancient story about a rabbi who sat up late poring over the Torah texts and commentaries with a group of students. And as the candles burned down to their stubs and they looked around from their books, looked up and looked out the window, they realized that the night had almost passed. There were those gray glimmers that are just before the dawn. And the rabbi, thinking about the texts they had been studying and looking at the light coming, said to his students, "Do you know how to tell when it is fully daylight?" And the students, taking him literally, as students in these stories always seem to do, as we tend to do, the students looked around and said, and thought, and one said, "Is it when you can tell a willow tree from an oak tree?" And the rabbi said, "No." Another student said, Is it when you can tell a sheep from a wolf? And the rabbi said, no. And another student said, is it when you're walking on the path and you can tell that shape in front of you, whether it's a stick or a snake? And the rabbi said, no. And looked around, the other students remained silent. And he said, it is when you meet another human being, a stranger, and you look into their eyes and recognize your sibling, your sister, your brother. That is when you know it is fully daylight. I've told this story before, so it may be familiar, but I'm telling it today especially in honor of Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks, who died this past week. Jonathan Sacks served as the chief rabbi of Great Britain for many years, a position that's equivalent to the Archbishop of Canterbury. And in fact, he and George Carey, who held the position of Archbishop of Canterbury during Sacks's years as rabbi, shared a love for Arsenal, the English football team. They would go to games together to cheer on their team. Sounds like a joke. An archbishop and a chief rabbi walk into a soccer stadium. But to Jonathan Sacks, it was no joke. He spent his time, his life, reaching out to people of different understanding and different backgrounds. So he often found himself in unconventional spaces, whether of the world or of the mind. Sacks studied philosophy with a focus on moral philosophy, which wasn't a popular topic when he was a student at Oxford and Cambridge in the 1960s and 70s. Most philosophers then held a position of moral relativism, that there was no way to say what was good or wrong, that it was all up to the individual to decide. Sacks found that position intellectually and ethically unsatisfying and ended up becoming a rabbi rather than an academic philosopher. But he never lost his interest in those questions. And his focus on what could be universally true led him to rethink his religion and all religion. You can see his intellectual expansion in the titles of his books over the years. In the early 90s, his titles focused on his tradition of Judaism. He wrote Crisis and Covenant, Jewish Thought After the Holocaust, One People's Tradition, Modernity and Jewish Unity, and Will We Have Jewish Grandchildren? While in the 2000s, his titles have more universalism. He published To Heal a Fractured World, The Ethics of Responsibility, The Home We Build Together, Recreating Society, The Great Partnership, God, Science, and the Search for Meaning, Not in God's Name, Confronting Religious Violence, and this year, Morality, Restoring the Common Good in Divided Times. He didn't stop writing about Judaism. He's also published prayer books and Passover Haggadahs, studies of Genesis and Leviticus, but he modeled going deep into one's particular tradition as a way to connect with the universality of all religion and all people. He was a universalist with a small u, in the sense that all religions point to truth. He found everywhere was love. He wrote, love your neighbor, love the stranger, hear the cry of the otherwise unheard, liberate the poor from their poverty, care for the dignity of all, let those who have more than they need share their blessings with those who have less, feed the hungry, house the homeless, and heal the sick in body and mind. Fight injustice, whoever it is done by and whoever it is done against. And do these things because, being human, we are bound by a covenant of human solidarity, whatever our color or culture, class or creed. This, as he wrote in his final book, was the foundation of his moral understanding. Here's a little more about how he understood the difference between morality, politics, and economics, and why we can't let the government or the marketplace take on the work of morality.
My name is Jonathan Sachs, and this is my new book, Morality, subtitled Restoring the Common Good in Divided Times. Its argument is simple. We are living through cultural climate change. And just as the other kind of climate change is a threat to the future of life, so cultural climate change is a threat to the future of freedom. It's happened because we've relied on two institutions alone, the market and the state, and we've forgotten about the third one, which is a shared sense of moral commitment to one another. The problem is that the market and the state are about competition, whereas morality is about cooperation. The market and the state are about the pursuit of self-interest, whereas morality is about the common good. The market and the state are about I, but morality is about we. We need to restore that sense of collective responsibility. For the sake of justice, freedom, and the good society, we need morality back at the center of our lives.
Morality, in Sachs's understanding, isn't about judgment. That's the way we've come to think about that word, and perhaps why it's gone out of fashion. The religious right in this country has defined morality as being about bodies and sex, and perhaps in response, those on the left have discarded the word and the concept. Sachs argued that morality is central to humankind, but he had a very different definition. Here's how he defined morality. Morality is a concern for the welfare of others, an active commitment to justice and compassion, a willingness to ask not just what is good for me, but what is good for all of us together. It is about us, not me, about we, not I. Think how different our society and our world would be if this understanding of morality, of human connection and interdependence, were at the center of our common life. We would wear masks to protect one another. We would understand that Black Lives Matter isn't a denigration of the worth of white people. We would enact laws for the care of the earth. We would rework our economy, not to be communist or socialist, but to prevent the outsized inequality our abandonment of morality has allowed. We would not be divided in teams of pro-choice or pro-life, but would be able to work together to support women and children. We would not demonize those who disagree with us, whether they wear MAGA hats or BLM t-shirts. The world would not be perfect. It never will be, but it would be fairer and happier. So how do we get there? We keep on putting love at the center of all we do. We catch ourselves when we are dismissing, diminishing, or demonizing those who don't agree with us. We practice in this church, in our families, and in our town to see others as our siblings, sisters, brothers, even those who make us mad, those who make us feel threatened, those who make us feel diminished. We continue to hold up the value of the common good. We go deeper into our own faith to strengthen our ability to love. This is already our practice as Unitarian Universalists. I suggest that one way to help us on our journey would be to read and discuss Jonathan Sachs' final book, Morality, together. I haven't read it yet. It's only just come out in this country, and I'd love to read it and talk with you about it. Let me know if you'd be interested. There is no easy path, but we do not walk it alone. We walk it together, guided by prophets like Jonathan Sacks, who help us to find and continue on the way. Let's strengthen ourselves on that way as we sing our closing hymn, Wo Ya Ya. And Wo Ya Ya actually means we are going.
We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. We are going. Heaven knows where we are going, but we know within. And we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah. 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 Oh
And now in your goings out and in your comings home, may God bless you and keep you. May the face of God shine down upon you from within you and from without you. And may you carry that knowledge of that love as peace within your heart, wherever your journey may take you this week and all your days. Go in peace.